This ministry content is brought to you by the partners of Terry Savelle Foy Ministries.
Hey, I'm Cassidy Foy, Terry Savelle Foy's daughter. I know you're used to a higher pitched voice. In fact, when I was growing up and my mom would call and order pizza, sometimes the delivery guy would say, "Does your mommy know you're ordering pizza?" And my mom would say, "No, but my daughter does." And if you're new to this channel and you don't know what I'm referring to, you will see shortly when you hear this inspiring message from my mom. This week, I want to take you into a message shared at our Icing Women's Conference last year. Did you know that you will get in life exactly what you expect? In fact, listen to some of these stories where people expected things to happen to them positively and negatively, and they got what they expected. Watch this.
Did you know that you will get in life exactly what you expect? Your expectations are so powerful, positively and negatively, right? In fact, I'm sure y'all have heard this, and you may have seen me do this on YouTube with my gigantic magnets. You like these? In the psychology world, they call it the law of attraction, right? And they'll say your mind is like a magnet. Whatever gets in your mind and stays there, you will attract it in your life. And it works positively and negatively. And they'll teach you things like, if you complain about your dream not happening, guess what you're going to attract? More to complain about. But if you're grateful because you believe with all your heart that God is working behind the scenes in your life, guess what you're going to attract? More to be grateful for. It's just the law of, expectation. Well, Norman Vincent Peale, I don't know if y'all remember him, but he wrote a book years ago about the power of positive thinking. And what he did was every year he would get a group of people to come together on New Year's Eve, and he would have them get out a piece of paper, write down their expectations for the new year, put them in an envelope, seal it up, and never read it again until the following New Year's Eve. And he did this year after year after year, and he had so many experiments with these people. Well, I came across just one of his many experiments. I just want you to hear this. So this group got together on New Year's Eve, they opened up their envelopes, and this is what it said. One guy opened up his envelope. He was devoted to astrology. He had read that Capricorns could expect to lose their marriage partners and their jobs during the upcoming year. So he wrote that down. He expected the prediction to come true, and that's exactly what happened. When he opened it up a year later, he was divorced and without a job. Another lady expected a job promotion. That's what she wrote down. She was also a Capricorn, but she didn't read that kind of stuff. She got her promotion. One guy from the group was absent. He had died during the year. When the group opened up his envelope, his message said this: "No member of my family has ever lived past 60 years old, so I expect to die next year." And he did. So expectations work positively and negatively, right? Expectations are so powerful. In fact, that word expect, it means to look with an outstretched neck. It's kind of like when you order Amazon Prime and you open the door, right? I mean, you have the outstretched neck. You're constantly looking for that box, right? Well, I want you to know that's exactly how you need to be about your dream. Every single day, you've got the outstretched neck. You're expecting God to bring it to pass. In fact, I want to share with you 2 ways you show God your positive expectations. You ready? The first way is you say thank you, and the second is you sow seed. Let me start with say thank you. Let me explain this to you. So, my dad has always taught me this, that the highest expression of your faith in God is when you say thank you and you give praise before the breakthrough. Like, that's the highest way of saying, God, I trust you so much. I'm going to go ahead and say thank you for doing it. And even in the psychology world, they teach the same thing. Y'all may have heard of Dr. Joe Dispenza. He's become very popular. Even he says gratitude is the ultimate state of receiving. When you're grateful before it manifests, it's the ultimate state of receiving. Well, you might even be going, this does not make sense to me. This is backwards. I do not understand. Why would I thank God for something that hasn't even happened? Well, let me explain it like this. A few years ago, my family was having a little birthday party for me. We were having a little lunch together. and I'm opening up presents from the family, and do I sound weird? Because my ear keeps popping. Do I sound like a kid? I'm just kidding. Normally I sound like Joyce Meyer, but tonight I feel a little off, you know? But anyway, so I'm opening up presents, you know, and my mom got me this amazing Eiffel Tower t-shirt and beautiful earrings and an amazing pair of stilettos, as you can imagine. And then my sister, she got me pajamas. Me and her always get each other pajamas, a fresh new pair, and smell goods. And then my daughter Cassidy got me all these things and a picture frame with a picture of me and her on a mommy-daughter trip. Well, then I opened up a gift from my husband, and this is what I pulled out at this gift. It says, "You're getting a new iPad." Now, what would you think if I went, "Yeah, I'll believe it when I see it"? Yeah, Rodney, I doubt that. Or what if I said, "Yeah, I'll say thank you when it actually is in my hand"? My husband probably would have said, "You bratty little wife, I got your iPad right here," right? No, you know what I did? I said, "I am? Thank you, thank you, thank you." And I hugged Rodney and thanked him just as much as I hugged my sister and my daughter and my parents for the gift I actually opened. Now, why in the world would I thank Rodney for that? Because I trust him. We've been married for almost 32 years. I know he's gonna do what he said he's gonna do. So I went ahead and said, "Thank you so much." And guess what? The iPad showed up. It was on back order. It showed up. I got the iPad. Well, can I tell you that God is not a man that he should lie? And God is the one who said, he even put it in writing just like Rodney did. He said, "Even now, take your stand and see this grand thing which the Lord is going to do before your eyes." It doesn't even say that the Lord might do before your eyes. It's probable, but not for sure. No, it says he is going to do it. So when you quote God's word back to him, I heard Joel Osteen say, God is not obligated to do what you say, but he is obligated to do what he said. And when you say, "Lord, you said," 1 Samuel 12:16, that I'm going to watch this happen before my eyes. When God hears you quote his word out of your mouth, you know what he says? Angels, go to work. Make it happen, right? So that's why you say thank you before it manifests, because you trust his word just like I trust Rodney's word. You know, a farmer, I said this earlier, I don't know any farmer who would ever sow seed without fully expecting a harvest to come, right? It's the same with our finances. We should never sow seed without fully expecting the harvest. In fact, Galatians 6:7 says this. It says, "Be not deceived, God is not mocked. For whatsoever a man sows, that will he also reap." Well, I wasn't sure what whatsoever means because I don't use that word, so I looked it up. Guess what it means? Whatever. So God was saying, whatever a man sows, that's what he's gonna reap, right? Well, I shared with you earlier how your future is in your seed. Whatever you're believing for is in your seed. In fact, Jesse Duplantis taught us to never throw your seed, but sow your seed and name it for what you're believing for, right? So I want to tell y'all another story real quick, because years ago, one of my grand dreams was to have a publisher for my books. But I didn't want just any publisher. I was believing God for one of the biggest publishers in the world. Well, I've had a publisher before, and we've gotten our books in the bookstores, and I've written a lot of books, but most of the time I write the book, we print it, and we self-publish it. But I said, "Lord, I want to sign a book deal with a big publisher. That's just a grand dream of mine. I want to reach more people than we've ever reached before." Well, I went and posed, and did my thing like I teach you, and it never happened. Years are going by, and it's not happening. I don't even look like the same girl in that picture, okay? I've been through menopause since then, okay? So, but I'm just believing. Well, a friend of mine reached out to me a few years ago, and she said, "Terry, I'm friends with one of the biggest book agents in the world, and I want to set up a phone call for you and her to get to know each other." Well, at first I was a little reluctant because I don't like that kind of stuff. It just, I don't know, it makes me cringe. And I've just always trusted God to open doors for me. I don't ever push my way through. But I also know, the law of the rubber band. If you want to go to the next level, you got to get out of your comfort zone. So she set up this phone call. Well, I'm talking to this lady, and I'm trying my best to sell myself, which just grosses me out. And I'm trying to prove to her, I'm going to do my best to sell a ton of books, Well, she said in this real deep, sultry voice, she goes, "You are adorable." Kind of scared me a little bit, Yeah, I think she was referring to my voice, I don't know. But here's what I found out. Being adorable doesn't get you a book deal. She was not interested in me, she didn't want to sign the deal, and we went on. Well, that was years ago. And this book has been on my vision board for years. This picture. It's been in my book for years. Well, all of a sudden one day it dawned on me, it's time to take my stand and go for something grand. And I'd learned, don't throw your seed, sow your seed. So I went to the bank and I took out the biggest seed I could possibly sow into someone else's ministry because they have an amazing publisher. Their books go all over the world. So I said, Lord, I want that on my life. And I sowed it in faith because your future is in your seed. And I actually wrote that one of the biggest publishers in the world is contacting me. That's what I wrote. So remember, years have gone by, don't look like this girl anymore. I took my stand. I sowed my seed. Last summer, July 28th, I get a phone call from my book agent, and she said, "Terry, I want to connect you with this publisher. They want to know if you would be interested in signing a book deal with them." So anyway, it's an amazing book deal, very nice book deal. They send me the contract, I sign it. On my way home, my agent texts me and she says, "Terry, I don't know if signing a book deal with the largest Christian publisher in the world was on your vision board, but you just did." I said, "As a matter of fact." But what am I saying? Your future is in your seed. Maybe some of your dreams haven't manifested because you haven't sown a seed for them. Every seed produces after its own kind, right? It's the law of Genesis. Whatever a man sows, that's what he's going to reap.
Wow. I pray that message blessed you like it blessed me. You heard Terry say that your future is in your seed. Whatever you're believing God for, you are never without the seed that will produce it. And hey, if you want to get your seed in the ground for your big dreams and goals and this ministry is on your heart, you can sow today at terry.com/donate and we would be so honored. And before I go, Terry has a free gift for you. Download Terry's list of her favorite podcasts and books. What you repeatedly hear, you eventually believe. And that's why it's so important to have the right content going in your mind and filling your thoughts. You can download this list by clicking the link in the description. And remember, we're cheering you on to live your dreams.
Join us for the Icing Women's Event live experience in Dallas, Texas. This is your time to grow in your relationship with God. Get the biblical tools you need to live your dreams. Be set free from limitations and make 2024 your record-breaking year. Join Terry Savelle Foy along with anointed guest speakers on August 30th through the 31st for an unforgettable weekend that will inspire and motivate you to live out your God-given purpose. Go to terry.com to register for Icing Women's Event today. We can't wait to see you at Icing 2024, the premier women's conference for faith-filled dream achievers.